Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got to talk about Snow Hazard and Clayburst. Snow Hazard and Clayburst have gotten, I think it's fair to say, a little bit silly over in Japan. You know, these are two of the most hyped sets we've ever seen. Now, it is worth pointing out we are talking about a double set here. That's kind of, well, that's the way it works. You have your main set sometimes, which are just single sets. This is a double set. So Snow Hazard and Clayburst are actually different sets. Now, they're released on the same day. They are very much designed as a double set. But Iono, for instance, can only be found in Clayburst. And that's actually pretty gosh darned important. Because you see, Iono has, firstly, the full art. The full art's a pretty big deal. Secondly, the special illustration rare. And the special illustration rare of Iono is, well, it's a pretty big deal. It's like the most expensive card we've seen, basically, in the Pokemon TCG for a long time. It is a very expensive card. It's one that you're not going to be picking up for, well, put it this way, if you're only spending several $100s, you're probably doing pretty well. And then this leads to an interesting thing. Because you've got these individual cards like Iono that send the price absolutely skyrocketing, and that gets people, I think excitable is probably the way to put it. And we have some tweets that we've seen here that really kind of show this. The lovely Ethan Heggie tweeted out, the next Pokemon set drops tomorrow, and the Midnight Lanes are already insane. This might be the most hyped up and difficult to obtain, product-wise, set the game has ever seen in Japan. And obviously, Ethan is our man in Japan at the moment, sharing all this information. This is a midnight queue. Now, I will be honest, some shops will actually open up for midnight release, so this may actually be a case of people queuing up at midnight to get it at midnight, rather than kind of, getting the tents out and staying there from midnight till 8 a.m. But the point here is, look at that queue. That is a very, very hyped up queue from a bunch of people that, quite frankly, want to get this set and know that actually this is going to be a little bit awkward. This is going to be a set which is not going to be particularly easy to get hold of. You're probably not just going to be wandering down to your local shop, picking out a couple of boxes of it, and jobs are good. And we've seen, a bunch of others. This was shared by Which Is Me over on Twitter, quote tweeting, basically saying, a great photo to tell how it is a disaster to buy a sealed box. Though the seal would be broken in most cases when purchasing in front of the customer, this is to prevent reselling. And this is actually something we've talked about a bunch on this channel. It's something which is done very regularly over in Japan. And essentially, the boxes come quote-unquote sealed. So what they'll go and do is they'll actually, the shop you buy it from will break the seal in front of you so that, yes, you get yourself a box, yay, etc. But the box you get isn't actually sealed, and well, it's significantly more difficult to go and buy a sealed box. That's kind of the point here. And so this has basically led to a bunch of awkwardness. People trying to get hold of these boxes and, quite frankly, not doing a very good job of doing so, not being able to get these boxes. And Pokemon have actually responded, which is interesting because this is not the kind of thing they generally do. Regarding the status of responses to shortages of Pokemon card game. This is Google Translator, so, do give me a little bit of a break here. Thank you for your continued patronage of our products. We are currently out of stock of all Pokemon card game products. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused to customers who were unable to purchase. Giving top priority to delivering the desired products to our customers, we will continue to strengthen our production system and promote the reproduction and shipment of products that are in short supply. We will continue to do our best so that everyone can enjoy the Pokemon card game. Thank you for understanding. And one thing which I think is really, really important to bear in mind here, the Pokemon Company, like most companies, like the vast majority of companies, they are a profit-making business. And what this means is they want your money. Like, the business exists to sell a product, provide a service, etc., in order to get money from customers. This isn't a bad thing. This is the way the vast majority of businesses operate. So they don't want to be short of products. The whole point here is that they want to have enough products to sell you so that you can give them all of your money. And the issue essentially comes in here where they don't have enough to sell. And I see a lot of these weird conspiracies where Pokemon are underprinting and all of that rubbish. And no, that's not the way it works. Pokemon want to sell product. They're a profit-making company that makes their profit by selling products. They want to be selling this stuff. And quite frankly, when Pokemon see the queues of people trying to get in here, they want to be selling. They want to be trying to make sure that they've got enough product here. And that is the issue we find, which is they literally, and it's not a failing on Pokemon or anything stupid like that, they very literally cannot sell, they cannot make the product fast enough to actually sell it. Now, it is kind of interesting to note that one of the things they said there was, we are sold out of Pokemon TCG products. And that kind of, got me thinking a little bit, well, hang on a second. So I headed on over to the Pokemon Center over in Japan, the Pokemon Center online, and yeah, it's sold out. All of the products are sold out, even sets like Dark Phantasma, which have been in stock for a while now. They have been pretty readily available, easy to get over on the Pokemon Center over in Japan. These are actually sold out now. Now, I know that the top 3 products there, Triple Beat, Snow Hazard, and Clayburst, are not currently shown as sold out, but what you don't see there is, in the square brackets right at the beginning, it essentially says lottery sales. That's essentially what they're saying here. So, these aren't in stock. They are showing as in stock because they are lottery sales. They are not actually in stock and ready to buy. It is, you can enter a lottery, you can cross your fingers, and hey, maybe you'll get lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you'll get lucky. And it is worth pointing out that actually the way they do lottery sales now, we see this with Clayburst. Obviously, Clayburst is, the big set. It's got Iono and all of that stuff in. It is worth pointing out that they are very much expanding. Pokemon they're trying really, really hard with this stuff. So, one of the things we see here is that they are actually going out of their way to do what is essentially a double lottery. So what you basically get here is an opportunity whereby you enter to try and, and then to say lottery, what you're winning is just the chance to buy it at retail. If you are successful, yay. And, for Clayburst, for instance, the first date was on April the 5th. If you don't hear on April the 5th, there is a second date, which is April the 19th, 2 weeks later, and hopefully you'll be able to get in there. And the whole point of this, the whole point of doing a double lottery is basically saying, we're making extra. We are making a point to make extra here, and hopefully more people are going to get in. And what is very upsetting here, a little bit, if you're somebody like me who's really desperate to pick this stuff up, you might not get lucky. You might not get lucky in the first wave, and you might not get lucky in the second wave. And the problem is that if you don't get lucky in the first or second wave, you do end up in a little bit of an awkward situation where these products are just very, very difficult to get hold of, because trying to buy these from resellers on Amazon or other places is frankly extremely expensive and difficult. It is not an easy thing to really pull off. But this is where we end on good news. This is where we end on the happy bit of the video, because look, I know that as it stands at the moment, yeah, it's really difficult to get hold of these boxes. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not, because it blatantly is. What is good here is that it is getting easier. Pokemon are doing this double lottery to make sure that there are essentially more chances to try and win. That's a very good thing. Pokemon are literally putting out an apology on the official website, basically saying, look, we are well aware that it is not easy to get a hold of products right now. We are working on it. And the thing is, if you're somebody like Pokemon, you don't put this announcement out unless you are actually working on it. This isn't some empty thing where, pop this out, shut everybody up, that'll be fine. No, this is Pokemon's way of basically saying, look, We actually do want to sell this stuff. As I mentioned earlier, they are a profit-making business. It is very much in their best interest to do so. And this is wonderful. This is good. This is Pokemon basically saying, look, we understand, we hear, we are on it. This is good news. This is very good news. The fact that Pokemon are aware of this, the fact that they care enough to send this message out through official channels is good, and we can all only hope that in the future things do get a little bit better. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know if you've been trying to buy Japanese boxes. I want to know if you've been successful. I want to know anything you want to tell me in the comment section. So get us. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.